Hello there, Capricorn, and welcome to your April forecast. Really great to see everyone again. And as you know, every month I like to begin my readings with a little bit of channeled information. The way I arrive at that is I meditate on your sign before I start the reading, and I engage in some free writing or some automatic writing. And for you, the message that came through this month was don't allow others' limits to dictate your own. Instead, you should aim high and reach for goals and dreams that feed your heart and soul, and probably surprise other people because you're going to be able to do these things. So I want you not to feel that there's a glass ceiling, that there's imaginary lines that you can't go past when it comes to goals, dreams, and aspirations. So their limits are their own, yours are your own, and if you realize that, that's a moment of empowerment, and I hope that helps you this month. Now, let's take a look at what the cards have to say this month. Before I get started, if anyone's new, I just want to say welcome. The way that I organize this after I do the channeled information, I like to pull a Celtic cross. That really gives us a nice look at the overall bird's eye view of the month. Then I go into more depth on health, wealth, love, and destiny after that. So I'm going to pull the camera down, and at this point, I'd like to just remain quiet, and like you, I'm going to pay attention to the cards, where they fall, and what information comes through as I see them. One additional card I like to add to this spread is a catalyst, and for me, the catalyst is a way to see how all of the cards here are going to be connected, and it also is sort of what ignites the month. So a very important card. And we have the Five of Swords. Now this particular Five of Swords came in sideways, and since I'm using circular cards, this allows for additional meaning. But what I'm seeing with this is that you're going to be very busy. We've got the bee right at the center, and what's important for you is not to get wrapped up in other people's either drama or situations or feedback. And you could be sort of in some sort of a feedback loop this month, and it's important for you to stay focused on the task at hand, remember what you're trying to do, and bees are really kind of a hive mentality, so there's a warning that you may need to break free from that mentality, but there's also a realization that you can only push so far before people may see that as insubordination or not being cooperative. So your challenge as you go through April is, how can you push limits? How can you challenge expectations? And how can you make change without doing so much so that it's difficult for people to digest it? So try to raise the bar, try to push, but try to do so in a way that makes sense and that also protects you. All right, let's take a look at the Celtic cross now. Your central card is a great one, actually. We have the King of Cups here, which is putting you in a good position when it comes to relationships, either new or existing ones, and also it's showing me that at least at the beginning of the month, it feels like you really have your emotions under control, and I'm really happy to see that. In addition to that, that sort of charisma, that energy that you're exuding, it's going to bode well when it comes to getting the approval and support of others. We have the Six of Wands right on top of it. It's almost as if it's almost effortless this month for you. So if you continue to stay in that feeling of I am okay, and I'm excited to share this with you, and you have that easy energy about yourself, then things will continue to be easy. I think that it's a really great time for you if you have to have any sort of presentation or have any sort of deliberation. You could even be someone that could help mediate something. You seem to have a really nice touch when it comes to communications this month. In fact, your crowning card is the Queen of Swords. And this is a very quiet version of the Queen of Swords because the sword is on her lap, which means she's listening, she's receptive, and when necessary, she speaks up. Overall, I feel like you're really nicely positioned with your ability to communicate, with your control over your emotions, and also this connectivity that you seem to have with other people, and they're receptive to it. It's putting you in a great place at the beginning of the month. As I look into your deep past, there is one note here though. I see the Nine of Pentacles in reverse, and then as we look at your near future, we have the Four of Pentacles. So there is a little bit of work when it comes to money this month. fear surrounding money. Normally when I see the Four of Pentacles, there's something about a fear of, will I have enough? Am I worth this? Can I get what I need? Are the resources available? So what I see in the past is you've either had it, maybe you haven't held on to that as much as you could have, or you've feared that you're going to lose it. So if there's any sense of fear that you're feeling attached to your money, you want to work through that, because it creates a block, and there's so many positive things that are working in your favor that I want you to overcome that ability to, or I want you to basically regain that ability to call in money and overcome the block that you might be feeling. As we look at what's affecting you towards the beginning of the month as well, we have the Nine of Wands. The only thing that I sometimes get with Nine of Wands is an impatience, because you're close to things being finished or to the next phase, but you're not quite there. And for some of you, there's a desire just to sort of, like this card, blaze on to the next thing. One cool thing with the Nine of Wands, though, is that whatever you've gone through, it's absolutely going to give you the energy, the information, the sort of, it's like you're paying dues right now, and this is going to set you up for success in the long run, so you don't want to rush through it. As we look at your ego card this month, there's a slight warning, because we have this great communication in your crowning position, but I feel like there might be some internal doubt or negative thought process that you're kind of playing like a tape in your head. And so what you want to do is curb that a little bit. It's good to have constructive criticism from others and even from yourself, but there comes a point where if you're too negative or too worried, then it starts to impede your ability to kind of call in positive situations, because people start to read that negativity. I don't see this really becoming an issue until around the middle of the month. You start off strong, and then something might shake you a little bit. Either it's your fear over money, or it might be a fear of revealing who you are, because the Four of Pentacles can sometimes be about holding your cards really tight and not letting people see you. So share who you are, share your concerns. Don't be afraid to be open, especially with your center card being the King of Cups. As we look at your environment, great card here, Nine of Wands. So this is where I actually feel that whatever it is you're trying to bring to fruition, it quite possibly could happen by month's end if you continue to work hard. And this to me reminds me like of a little kid, little baby. So I feel like some of you are really ready to release something into the world, whether that's a project or maybe some of you are going to give birth. Whatever it is that you're waiting to let go of, it feels like by the end of the month, it's coming, and that's a good thing. In fact, what you want to start to do towards the latter 2 weeks is to plan for the future. We have the Two of Wands. And this is, you always want to have a plan B, a plan C. When you think of successful business people and also some celebrities, you know there are some that kind of never have a lack of visibility or projects. And usually, I'm talking about the good ones, not the notorious ones, but I would say even the notorious ones, they're coming up with a plan here. They want to be seen, they want to be out there. For you, I want you just to think about what's next, what's important to you, and you don't want to sort of like wait for the lull and then have to catch up. So if you're nearly finishing something, which it feels like you might be, whether it's home improvements, a delivery of a baby, release of a project, you want to start to think, okay, so what am I going to do after this? And what am I going to do next year? And what's my 5-year plan? So start to look at that. You don't have a lot of pressure surrounding it, but it's better to have at least a really raw or loose sketch of what this is going to be, so that at least you're starting from something when the time comes for you to have to take action. Your outcome card is the King of Wands, which I like, but the reversal of this card is warning you to not be too rigid in your thought process, to listen as much as possible to people around you, and when it comes to what you're managing, to make sure that if there's too much on your plate, that you're not micromanaging, or if you have someone that's your boss that's micromanaging you, maybe there's a way that you can communicate that you've got this. So to me, there seems to be a little bit of closed energy or stubborn energy. If it's within your control, if it's you know what you can do for that. But if it's someone in as a superior or in your surroundings, you'll have to kind of navigate the politics of how to deal with that, but realize that's more their issue than yours, and it's not a representation of how valuable or what type of a person you are. This is more their lack of confidence and their lack of being able to delegate and trust people around them. So just know that, and maybe that will help you even if you can't affect the change in a superior or in someone that's around you. Now, if it's yourself, like I said, you know how to make those small changes. Overall, I really like what the cards are showing me this month. The only caution that I want to give is that I see a lot of personalities coming through. We have the King of Cups, the Queen of Swords, the King of Swords, and the King of Wands. So we got a lot of like higher suit cards. I wasn't just getting pages. I wasn't getting a lot of knights or anything. So I think that some of you are in a situation where you may not be able to make everyone happy. And it's important then to tune into what you believe, what you know to be true, and again, start to focus on your own future. That's what the Two of Wands is. Try to get out of that. And when I go back to the channeled information, don't let these people around you, these strong personalities, paint you into a corner or create an imaginary limit that really doesn't pertain to you, because you know what you can do better than they do, and you can surprise them in a way that, again, they may not see, and you could use that element of surprise in your favor. So don't let these people intimidate you. You know, love is in the air with that King of Cups card in the center, but again, with all of these people, I think what's important for you is to figure out what you want, what's most important to you, because I almost see too many options for those of you that are single, and those of you in relationships, I still see that it's a little crowded. So it's either a big family or there's a lot of voices around you in your room, and you know, like you have to try to push some of that out and only tune into the ones that make sense, okay? Let's now expand your forecast, and we'll start off with the health card. For me, health is mind, body, and spirit. Although these cards and what I'm really focusing on this month is how your emotional and your spiritual well-being affect your physical well-being. So with that being said, let's see what the message is for you. So it says, I let go of the shadow of the past by seeing someone for the first time with the eyes of love. So first I'd like to just talk about the spiritual component, and then I will draw a connection to your body. The way that you deal with shadow energy in your life, whether it's shadow energy in your body, in someone that's near you, or if you actually see some sort of a shadow energy, you have to send it love or light, and knowing that you call into existence sometimes some of the shadow people and situations that come through, knowing that it was a lesson, it was a blessing, it taught you, then you can release it and think, oh, it wasn't that I did something wrong, it's not that this is evil and that I am good. That's not how it works. It's that that's a mirror. Whenever there's something in your life that comes through and has shadow energy, it's a mirror of something that you have to resolve, and ultimately you can just say, thank you so much, universe, for showing me what I need to work on. And you can also direct that towards the person, or if you felt an illness in your body, you can say, thank you so much for showing me that I need to take better care of myself. Now, there's a big I on this, so I'm going to go there quite literally. If there's anything going on with your eyes, with anything, even like a migraine or something like that, you want to get that taken care of, and of course go to an optometrist. Eye exams are great, especially if you have a family history of diabetes or cataracts or things like that. You want to get that taken care of, and you should be doing that in your 30s and 40s and every time thereafter. So do take care of your eye health this month. But I think the bigger message there is the spiritual connotation, which was releasing the shadow of the past, and I'm also focusing more on shadow energy. Sometimes we hold that in our body, not just in our eyes, but in other areas of our body where we have an injury or someone hurt us, and then we hold on to that energy and it finds a way of manifesting. So forgive the people, forgive the situations, forgive your body, and then the energy no longer has power on you and you can get stronger again. So knowing that shadows are mirrors and they're showing you something that you're afraid to see, but once you acknowledge it, it goes away. And once you love it, it has no power. And that's the true thing that the shadows don't want you to know, is that love, light, compassion, it scares them. So just know that there's no need to be afraid of that shadow energy. You can overcome it, okay? Let's take a look now at your wealth card. Wealth is all types of opportunities, but specifically we're looking at money, at sustainability, at your career, making sure that you can take care of yourself. So what's coming through for wealth? We have adjacent possibilities. So this card is reversed, but it doesn't matter because this is all about looking at things from a different angle. So rather than, I mean, it's kind of appropriate that it came through reversed, but for adjacent possibilities, I want you to look at another way of finding, if you're looking for a job, there may be a different way that you could do it. Maybe there's a, we're looking at the side entry, back door, whatever. So you might know someone who is in human resources. You may actually end up getting a job just by going out to dinner with friends and talking to someone, and they're like, oh yeah, we're hiring. Or you could cold apply to someone, like just send a letter without them listing anything and just say, hey, I really like your company. These are the skills I have. Do you have any openings in this area? So doing a cold application, a cold letter, talking to friends, just kind of being open as you're out and about and seeing if you stumble upon an opportunity. And then thinking around this and trying to, if one person's not working with you, go at it from a different angle, maybe working through a recruiter instead of whoever their HR person is, trying different ways to make sure that you can get through. It's all about the unexpected and the unusual. So if you're trying to make a career advancement, a career change, or some sort of a shift with your money, it's going to happen in an unexpected way. So just be open and also think outside of the box. Now let's take a look at love and relationships and see what the message is for you. Your love card this month is overcoming obstacles, and the card was reversed, but as we look at this, this is a very stylized version of Excalibur, I think. It looks like King Arthur's sword in the stone. So part of that was sometimes you need the right person to fix an issue, fix a problem, and in a relationship that's true too. If you're at a point where you both feel like you're at an impasse and that you can't get something solved, it might be time to talk to someone who can help you get unstuck, just like that sword. The other thing is you have to believe in yourself and you have to believe in the other person. So for those of you that are single, this is really just a card of realizing your own strength and self-sufficiency and knowing that you don't need that other person, that you already have what it takes to be strong, to be a beautiful person. And when you realize you have that strength, then people will recognize you. But if you're in a relationship and you're struggling, I think this is a card that's really speaking to the fact that you might need someone to help you see how to solve this, and you need the right person to kind of get you unstuck. And sometimes that's not one another, sometimes that's a third party. Okay, let's look now at your Destiny card. And the Destiny card is a GPS. It gives you a peek at where you're headed, and it gives you a chance for you to course correct if you'd like. So let's see what's coming through for you. We have the Nine of Orbs, and in this deck, orbs are swords. And for me, Nine of Swords is a card that it's usually surrounding stress or sleeplessness or concern. So what I want you to do this month is to try to move into transparency. Now what I mean by that is if there's anything that's stressing you out that you don't have the answers for, do what you need to do to really find that. Like, it's basically staring fear straight in the face, and the way to do that is through education, information, etc. So ask for others to be transparent with you, be transparent with yourself, be honest with yourself, basically. And also just practice better self-care. With the Nine of Swords, it's really about honoring the fact that you can't operate very well if you don't have enough sleep, you don't have enough rest, you're not eating well. So take care of that, and you're going to have the energy that you need to really take care of yourself and manage anything that comes your way. And ultimately, the better you take care of yourself, the less you have issues, the more that you're not going to be in a place where lower frequencies like fear affect you. Let's quickly review everything that we talked about, and then we'll wrap up. When I looked at your channeled information, the message was not to allow others' limits to dictate your own, to aim and to reach as high as you want to for goals and dreams that feed your heart and soul, and surprise people. Use that element of surprise in your favor. We saw the Five of Swords here, which was showing basically making a beeline almost for what's important, ignoring all of this nonsense around you, understanding that there is bureaucracy, there are some channels that you can't get through, but also knowing that you have to stay true to your own self, that you can't allow other people to distract you, and you can't let their limits be your limits. As we look at the cards here, your emotions are in a really good space at the beginning of the month. You have a great charisma and ability to inspire others around you. It looks like you've done a good job with your resources in the past, but I see a little bit of an imbalance as the month progresses. Try to keep that under check. With the 9 of Wands, ultimately becoming the 10 of Wands, I see something coming to completion this month. Your communication skills are strong, but I do sense some internal dialogue or some internal criticism going on that should be removed if you can. 2 of Wands, I want you to plan for the future because I do think something's going to wrap up sooner than you expect. And just keep an open mind this month. Try to listen to others, allow for different points of view, knowing that you have a lot to offer, but so do others. As we look at your health card, remembering that if there's any shadow energy in your life or if there's anything from your past that's haunting you, that the way to get through that is love. And also through understanding that you called in some of these situations and that makes them a blessing actually, and therefore everyone involved is an agent of love and change. Also take care of your eyesight. If there's anything going on, make sure that that's been checked out. When we look at your career opportunities, your wealth, look in unexpected places. We have this door on the floor, which is basically showing you that some sort of a random encounter could lead to a career advancement, so just be open and observant. We have this overcoming obstacles card in your love arena here, and this is really reminding you that you can overcome something even if you think it's impossible. You have to believe in yourself, you have to believe in others, you have to have faith that you are capable of doing this, but sometimes you need help. So if you need help, let this be the month that you reach out. Finally, take care of yourself, and if there's anything that's scaring you, just do the research and ask for help if you need it. Know that fear just begets more fear. What you need to do is believe that you're going to be able to overcome this, and the act of believing that actually helps it become a reality. So that brings our monthly reading to a close. I hope it gave you the insight you need for this month, but if there's ever something big in your life and you want to talk one-on-one, I do offer personal appointments. You can click on the first link below the video and that will help you check out rates and availability. The second link is a way for you to support the channel if you like what you see here. All of those donations help me purchase things like cards and also defray all the costs of production. So everything helps, even something as small as $1. So feel free to do that if you feel called to do that. Finally, I'd love for you to connect with me on social media. So if you haven't already connected here on YouTube, please do that. There's a subscribe link and a little bell icon. But if you'd like to join me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, please do so. And I also have a newsletter. All of those links are contained. If you visit that third link, you'll see a page with everything there. And I like to end every video with gratitude, heartfelt gratitude, because the whole reason that I show up every month and record all 12 of these videos is so that I can really help create change on this planet. And I'm inspired by the fact that you guys are continuing to change and grow as well. And I talked last month about the fact that I really had a vision of all of us creating this chain of light. I think we can continue to evolve and become lighthouses and inspire others. I really want to inspire that idea of teaching, healing, and mentorship in all of you. At the very least, just being a brighter and lighter person is going to help those around you. So keep doing that, keep working on yourselves, and know that it brings me great joy to see all of the growth that you've been doing. Much love and light to you, now and always. Take care.